Welcome. This is the Market Wrap. I am Agam Vakil. What a day it's turned out to be for the Nifty. Back above the mark of 11,000. That elusive level. Well, we are moving back above that mark at this point in time, and there is a lot of strength too at this point in time, considering Tech Mahindra, Cipla, Zee Entertainment, Bajaj Finance, Tata Steel, some of the heavyweights, all lending strength. And in fact, we only have 5 losers on the Nifty 50 index today. And what about the broader markets? Well, we do have gains here as well. About 3 gainers for 2 losers, and some unlikely names such as Manpasand Beverages and Dish TV, Reliance Nippon, Prism Johnson Cement, SRF, all providing their impetus towards the gaining side. On the other hand, we do have some weakness in some of these ADAG stocks, and also Tata Chemicals, IDBI Bank. But on the whole, it's turned out to be a very strong session of trade. And on that note, I'm going to get in our markets editor Neeraj Shah to give in his take. Neeraj, for the past couple of days, what we were discussing was the weakness in the broader markets. But today, there has been a little bit of a catch-up even for the relatively smaller stocks.
And the last half an hour, I think we inched up, and therefore the indices closed in the green. The breadth, though, still in the red, rather declines more than the advances, at least NSE wide. So that's okay. But today, the action on the large cap space was pretty heartening, Agam. We had stocks of varied spaces moving around, strong reaction to a company from your sector, Tech Mahindra, doing very well. And I know you highlighted all of that too. But the momentum that we saw in some of the other stocks at the broader end of the spectrum too, the likes of Praj Industries, the sugar names, and they all carried forth the kind of momentum that came in. So I think that confidence seemed to be great ahead of the policy. The only question mark in the minds of the traders would be, and there was a split verdict today, maybe you'll hear from them as well, that one of the traders said that you'll be cautious ahead of the policy. What if the rate cut doesn't come about? The other guest was pretty sanguine and said would be long irrespective of what happens to the policy. So, conflicting views out there, but today was a strong day. Let's see if this lasts.
Absolutely. Neeraj, thank you for joining us and getting us those, that perspective out there. But, moving on, let's also address what's happening with 2 other stocks. That's Jubilant Foodworks as well as Jubilant Life Sciences, and of course Jubilant Industries as well. What's really gone down is that at this point in time, we've seen yesterday the management come out with releases suggesting that they were looking to pose in a lower royalty around 0.25% from these companies for using the brand Jubilant. And within hours, we've actually seen all these companies retract and withdraw this particular proposal, because of which, while we did see some amount of volatility in yesterday's day of trade on account of this news being reported by some certain media, other media outlets, but at this point in time, we are seeing about 2% cuts for each. And finally, let's talk about 2 of those key pharma earnings. We have Cipla as well as Lupin coming out with earnings today. We have Darshan Mehta joining us to give us an update on the same. Darshan, how are they looking?
Yeah, so let's start with Lupin that came first. The company did, once the frontline numbers came in, the counter reacted positively. Then, the press release came in and went. And the first uptake was a very strong set of numbers, extremely strong margins at almost 17% versus the expectation of 15%. So there was a big beat that came in there. Top line was there, but then once the numbers came in, they had a lot of adjustments. First of all, there was this loss that came in, and that was on account of a provisioning that they did of 342 crores for a litigation that's there in Europe. Apart from that, then the other income that was there, they included a licensing income in the revenue. So that's something that catapulted the revenues also. And finally, in the con call, the company said that there was a forex loss also, and that actually pulled up the margins also. So lots of adjustment there. Cipla, overall, the numbers was weak, but one of the key reasons for Cipla actually moving up was the fact that, there was short covering. And secondly, the US business did extremely well, both on a quarter-on-quarter basis, both on a year-on-year basis. The US revenues were the one that showed strong growth, double-digit growth coming in on a quarter-on-quarter basis, and that's why the Cipla shares managed to move up almost 7% in trade, even though the numbers were not that impressive on an overall basis.
Okay, Darshan, thank you for joining us and getting us those updates. So there you have it, 2 very big earnings from the pharma sector, also done dusted and out of the way. And on that note, it's a wrap on the markets, but lots more lined up. Do remember, we do have the credit policy tomorrow, so keep watching Bloomberg Quint, and we'll keep bringing you more.